long sigh. The narrator cleared his throat and sniffled as he twitched his cheek. He opened the book and began to read. No one had heard this language before, but in unison, all moved their heads forwards and backwards in acknowledgement of the tone. This song had been sung before. Someone at the back of the hall stood up and walked towards the window. Through the misty glass, glistening orbs and streaks shot across the nocturnal vista. She raised her arm and dragged her left index finger down in a straight, vertical line on the glass, carving a perfect clearing through which the truth of the night was revealed. Beneath her feet, the checkered linoleum tiles began to shift, opening up a space, which within a few seconds formed a circle. She turned to face the congregation. Extending her arms, she smiled, glanced briefly at the narrator, whose clenched fists were lifting off the podium, and with a guttural instinct, expelled all the air in her lungs along with her fears. With the swiftness and unpredictability of cornered mice, the members began to grind their teeth and to pull at each other's hair, breaking the vows that had been made at birth. The mirror behind the altar revealed these transformations that were taking place, including that of the stature and general appearance of the narrator. His countenance betrayed the physical limitations of his being, and with every collective convulsion, vines began sprouting from his neck, entangling his head and arms. In the midst of this battle of wills, the book fell to the floor, breaking its spine. The tiniest person in the hall snaked their way through the wooden chairs towards the stage with a container of binding glue, hoping to make a difference. But within a hope's yard of the artifact, what was once the narrator collapsed with the weight of an oak tree, crushing their bones along with any hope of a new beginning. Within seconds, the temperature began to drop, with frost forming on every animate object and living being. Delicate ice crystals floated in the air, lacerating the host's lungs. Until now, they had been discreetly watching the spectacle from the shadows, thinking it may pass before sunrise. Now, fully exposed by their bloody corporeal frailties and their cries of excruciation, they were now as vulnerable as all. No one ruled this space. In this absence, millennia passed, and the howls of the living and dead were distinguished only by the rustling of fallen leaves. The remains of the temple, where an earnest and courageous attempt had been made to mend the spine, dissolved into a viscous saline solution that would be served